everyone, and welcome to my new video. This is Contra, and this version I'm playing I downloaded off Xbox Live Arcade. It is one of the really cool things, I have to say, with Xbox Live Arcade, that you can pick up some little gems like this. I don't think that Microsoft do enough of it. I'd like to see more classic games appear on there. They do have quite a few, but I don't think that they've really taken full advantage of it. But anyway, this is notorious for being one hell of a difficult game, but also it is exceptionally playable. I had this back on the Commodore 64, and if my memory serves me right, which I hope it does, it was called Grisor. It wasn't called Contra. There was probably some really stupid reason why they couldn't call it Contra in the UK. It was probably some stupid arse government person or censorship board somewhere that probably felt that kids becoming familiar with the word Contra at too much of an early age would be an exceptionally bad thing. I could be completely wrong, but that's usually how things back in the 80s worked. I mean, they had very bizarre censorship laws in the UK that really didn't have an enormous amount of consistency. And as I was talking about in my sort of Carmageddon video, they just seem to be, a lot of the censorship laws just seem to be completely pointless and completely stupid. I mean, like I say, I could be totally wrong. There might have been another game called Contra, and that meant that they had to change the name under you know, the sort of copyright laws within the UK. I honestly don't know, but I don't know why the Commodore 64 version was called Grisor, but because it was Contra. It wasn't anything other than that. Yeah, the thing that really does annoy me though with these games is the fact that Xbox Live really does like to have the games sort of shrunk into a really small window, and I understand why it is, because they're trying to make it sort of more arcade authentic. But I mean, usually you can adjust the screen, and you know, I would imagine you can do it in the case of this, but when you do it, sometimes it makes the game look bloody awful, because it looks like it goes through a huge magnification process, and rather than anyone put any effort into putting some proper resized graphics in there, it just sort of makes everything look exceptionally pixelated and ugly. And so usually if you want to see the game as best as it can be, you tend to have to accept the defaults, which, as you can see here, is a very small screen surrounded by some sort of generic artwork. In this case it's a load of fire. But yeah, Contra, Grisor, whatever the hell, I really love this game. As I say, it was always renowned for being difficult. I never have a problem in that, so long as I feel that the game's fair and the game's playable. I never really have too much of a problem if it's going to be really difficult. And certainly, you know, Contra always had that one more go feel to it. You always felt, right, I know why I died there, I can go back and I can play it and I can do a better job next time. And as I say, certainly Contra has that going for it. And the sequels to it were pretty good as well. I mean, I think there was, like, on the Super Nintendo there was Super Contra, and I think there was something sticks in my mind with that about Probotector or some game called like that, which was kind of Super Contra but with slightly different graphics. It's all very confusing, but the whole issue of copyright, censorship, what's right and what was wrong, Nintendo liking things and not liking things and all this kind of crap, was a real pain in the arse back in the 80s and you know, pretty much for most of the 90s as well. I mean, games were one particular game, but when they got released, they'd have to change things. They'd have to change something in the graphics, or they'd have to change the name, or they'd have to change a character name and stuff like that. It was like the ridiculous thing in the UK that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for a period of time when they came out, were called the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because some bloody idiot thought that ninja sounded too violent, and that was the actual reason they give. I don't know how, you know, that made any difference, because when the bloody cartoon was running, they referred to themselves as ninjas. So, to my mind, it just seemed a completely and utterly ridiculous waste of time. And then somebody sort of must have realised this at some point, and then they reverted to being called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was what they were called in the first place. Never made any sense to me, but, you know, somebody probably got paid a considerable amount of money to make them decisions. And it was, you know, a bloody nonsense. But I've not really spoke that much about the game. There's not really a lot to say about Contra. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's just a big, massive shoot 'em up. You have the platform elements, and then you have these sort of pseudo 3D corridors that you run down when you attack the base, and the objective is to go work your way through the base and blowing the living crap out of everything along the way. Yeah, no ridiculous complication at all. It's all very simple and straightforward, and again, you know, like I say, it's very, very playable, and it's well worth checking out. As I say, it's available on the Xbox Live Arcade store. I think I paid about 400 points for this. I don't know if it's still the same price now, because the prices of stuff on there change that often. I can never keep up with it. But yeah, I mean, if it still is 400 points, it's certainly well worth checking out. It is a classic piece of video gaming history, you know, and it's very fondly remembered by a lot of people, including myself, for one reason or another. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Contra on the Xbox Live Arcade. I'm playing it on the Xbox 360, of course, and it is well worth checking out. It's very good, and I like it an awful lot. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and please stay tuned to my channels for more videos to come this week. Thank you for watching.